everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Good Thrift Hunting. And this is the second part of my video series called Goodwill Outlet 101. Now, if you haven't checked out the first video, I suggest you do that. It's a good video. It's all of your questions answered. So have a look at that one and then come back and see this one. And today we're going to be going over all the tips and hacks that you need to know before you go. So today we're going to go over all the things you need to do to prepare for your visit and what you need to do when you get there, because remember, it's not your run-of-the-mill thrift store. It's very different. So you need to know what to do. And of course, we're going to go over all the things you need to know to get the very, very best deals. And so I'm going to start by going over three main areas. Okay, so the first category we're going to be talking about is how to prep yourself, because you need to prepare. First of all, how long are you planning on going for? Are you going for just a quick trip, an hour or less? Are you going for several hours? Are you going for the entire day from opening to close? Because that the length of time you're going to be there depends on how much you're going to prepare. Personally, I just go for an hour, 45 minutes. I don't have a lot of time to spend there, so I don't need to bring a snack or anything. But if you are going all day, bring a snack, bring water, pee before you leave the house, which I feel is just good advice for daily life. They do have washrooms there, by the way, so don't wear your very best outfit, because you're going to be in those bins digging around. You'll be leaning up against it, so wear something that's a little grubby that you don't mind getting a little dusty and dirty, okay? So don't wear the Sunday best. I'm quite short myself, and I do find myself leaning over, and yeah, so that would be bad. I do have heard, I've never seen it, but I have heard of people using like a tongs or like a grabbing device to pull things across. I guess you could do that, but I just get right in there. Here is a tip for you. Wear a crossbody purse or even like a fanny pack situation, because you're going to need both your hands, okay? You don't want to be dealing with a purse and its straps and whatnot. And also, you don't want to be leaving your purse in your cart just for security reasons, okay? So that is a good tip, to wear a crossbody or a fanny pack or something like this. Another tip, gloves, okay? As I say, you're going to be digging in there. The bins that have like harder items like kitchenware and housewares and toys and what have you, it can be sharp things in there. So the gloves you want to wear might be like more the gardening type that have some structure to them. So that would be a good idea. Or in the clothing bins, you can wear more of those like blue latex type gloves. It's a little bit softer. Personally, I don't wear gloves because I like to have a feel of the different fabrics. Feeling for different quality and whatnot. So gloves aren't my thing, but it is a tip for you. If you want to be ultra safe, go ahead and wear gloves. Another tip is to bring your own bags. They do not supply them at the outlet. And I would also suggest not just your run-of-the-mill grocery bags, but like the big canvas ones, like the type they have at IKEA, so you can stuff a lot in there. Okay, so bring your bags, even like garbage bags or recycling bags, those will work too. If you have forgotten all that, in a pinch, you could find bags there, or even like a pillowcase. You can stuff things in a pillowcase. All right, so another thing to remember is maybe bring bubble wrap or tissue paper, because if you do find glassware and whatnot, things that are more fragile, that you have that protection in the bubble wrap. So I know things have been tossed around the bins and whatnot, but once you have it in your possession, you want to keep it safe. So maybe bring that too. Okay, also in terms of preparation, you need to know what the COVID rules are. Unfortunately, at the time of filming this video, COVID is still a thing that we are dealing with in our lives. So throughout the pandemic, the outlet has had various COVID rules, things like capacity limitations, being socially distanced at the bins. I know one time there was only like one person per bin, two people per bin. They've even had like staggered intakes where a certain amount of people are allowed in at 9 and another group at 1. Masks are required. So I would suggest that you could call ahead, or when you get there, just ask a staff member there what you need to know in terms of the COVID rules. So just be aware of that. Okay, so category number 2 that we're talking about is all about making a home base. All right, so you arrive at the outlet, and FYI, the information I'm sharing with you is for the outlet in Edmonton, Alberta. Okay, so at that location, there are 2 entrances, one for the furniture outlet, and one is for the rest of the outlet, like the clothing and whatnot. And if you're just going for the clothing and those types of bins, various housewares and whatnot, that is in the west entrance. And if you want to check out furniture and that sort of stuff, you go in the south entrance. And just an FYI, you can't get to the furniture outlet through the clothing part. So they're separate entrances, okay? So just so you know that. All right, so you come in the front door, you're going to see that they have the shopping carts. So they have the regular standard shopping carts, and so the big steel ones, and also the smaller black ones on wheels that you pull like you do at the grocery store. So they have those as well. If your plan is just to spend a short amount of time, 45 minutes, half an hour, maybe just the small black one is all you need. I know when I go, that's all I grab. But if you're there for a longer haul, or if you want to get a whole lot of stuff, you need the bigger cart. Okay, so you'll grab one of those. Tip, don't bring the big cart through the aisles. They're not permitted in there. They're too big anyways. They take up too much space. So what you're going to do is, and you'll see this when you get there, that all the carts are lined up sort of on the perimeter of the store. So people come, they take their cart and they park it on the edge of the wall, and then that is your home base. Option, you can go in the bins and maybe take a blanket or a sleeping bag or carpet, something like that, to drape over the cart. Some people do that, some people don't. It's just to signify that that cart has been taken and to prevent people from like snooping around your cart and seeing what's in there or taking stuff out. But I don't think people do that, at least at my outlet location. Yeah, and then you can take your smaller cart, the little black one, and go through the aisles, or just go with your arms. But I like to bring the black cart because my arms are busy grabbing stuff. And then you can transfer it to your home base and just keep on going. Okay, so the third category we're talking about today is how to execute your strategy. All right, so are you going and looking for specific items? Are you looking for toys, books, shoes, what have you? Then obviously, if that's your strategy, you're going to go straight for those bins and just spend your time there. Now, remember, the bins are rotated out every 25 minutes to half an hour. The older ones go back to the warehouse, and then the fresh ones are brought back out. So, big question you need to ask in terms of strategy is, do you want to be first in line to get the fresh stuff out of the new bins that come out? Because if you do, you need to know how to do it. So if you're just walking into the store, you're going to see where people are lined up already. So you're going to go to that area. And then you'll see there's yellow lines, and you're going to stand just behind that line with your cart, your little black cart, or just yourself. And so the employee will bring that fresh bin out. He or she will line it up, lock it in place, and then they will give a signal when you're okay to go and start searching in the bin. Don't do it before that signal or you will get scolded. I have seen that, so no one wants to get scolded. So wait for that signal, and then you're welcome to dig in. There, as I said before, there might be COVID restrictions and that there's only a few people allowed. But if there's no restrictions, then pretty much anywhere you can squeeze in and start digging, you can go for it. Having said all that, you do not have to take part in that whatsoever if you don't want. You can go to any other bin in that whole store and start going and start wherever you want. Okay, you don't have to take part in that if you don't want. Okay, so I'm going to share with you my personal strategy for the outlet. As I said before, I generally go for only about an hour, so I need to be very strategic. I start at the bin that is furthest away from the cashier, and there is good reason for that. So, if you recall in my past video, prices are $1.99 a pound. If you go above 50 pounds, the cost reduces to 99 cents a pound. Okay, specific items like books and glassware are 60 cents a pound, just FYI. I never remotely get close to 50 pounds. Maybe 10, 12 is what I average each visit. So here is a big time hack. You need to team up to cash out. Okay, and so what I mean by that is you have to go in with someone else who's also cashing out in order to reach that magic 50-pound mark to get the cheaper 99 cents a pound price. So the cashier can combine both your weight and the weights of someone else's stuff or even two other people's stuff to get to that 50-pound or higher mark. And this isn't cheating the system or anything like that. It's actively encouraged and a lot of people do it. But the big trick is you have to be cashing out at the same time as other people. So that's why I start furthest away from the cash. So I go far away, do my digging through the bins, and by the time I make my way up closer to the cash, I can keep one eye on who's cashing out and one eye on my bins, and then I can coordinate to go in with someone else. So if I see that someone's close to cashing out as well, I'll just go over and politely say, hey, do you mind if I check out with you? And everyone is always very accommodating to do that. So in terms of the actual money exchange part of it, there's different employees do it a bit differently. So you have to be prepared for each scenario. In one way, the person with the big cart of stuff would pay for it all, and then I would pay that person in cash. Okay, so another tip is bring small bills and change so you're able to do that transaction easily. Another way to do it is the cashier will take all your weights, and then you can pay the cashier directly in whatever payment you want, Visa, debit, cash, however. So she'll add up your weights and then you can each pay the cashier separately. Okay, so a couple ways that it can be done, but just be prepared for each scenario. There have been a couple times where no one else was checking out at the same time as me, no one was coming, so I had to pay the full 99 cents a pound. Yuck. But I mean, it's still a great deal, but not as good as it could have been if I went in with someone. So anyway, that's my strategy, and that's why I start at the bin furthest away from the cash. Okay, so I know that I've told you that everything in the bin is sold by weight only. However, I have one final hack for you. Occasionally, there will be an item in the bin that is very heavy. I've seen things like fitness dumbbells. There was a little shelving unit one time that was quite heavy. dish sets, things like that, and those are quite heavy. And I think people often overlook these items because they think it will add too much poundage and be too expensive. However, if you ask the staff, they might be able to put a flat price on it. And I'll give you an example. One day I was looking in the bin and I found a pretty much almost new, could have been new, Lagostina cast iron 12-inch frying pan. So cast iron, it's super heavy. It was so heavy. And I think people just overlooked this item. And I took it to the cash and I said, you know, this is really heavy. Is there any deal you can give me? And she gave it to me for $3, which is nothing. And I looked it up on Canadian Tire and that was selling for $99. Okay, so that was a really great deal. So the final hack I have for you is ask for a flat price on heavy items. I hope this video gave you a better idea of how to prepare for your Goodwill outlet visit, what to do when you get there, how to execute your strategy, and how to get the very best deals. I have even more information up my sleeve for you, so you'll have to wait for my next video in this series, and it will be called Goodwill Outlet 101, Do's and Don'ts. So check that one out for sure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!